weekly Q&A. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Frankie Finn proudly presents you our weekly Q&A. And by the way, for those of you guys who have reached out to me about the mastermind, I'll tell you who it's best for. If you've reached stage one or the end of stage one where you started to get your own clients and you're starting to bring on people and you're trying to like really build a scalable structure, that's kind of our bread and butter. Rapidly pimping you up through the stages. So if you're interested in that, send me a message. Anyways, let's get into the Q&A. Hvac asks, what do you think is an average ROAS I should bring for e-commerce clients? Hvac, that is like the most loaded question of all time. Firstly, I know a lot of people would probably tell you should at least bring 2 to 1 for your e-commerce clients, but it depends on their product. It depends on how successful it's been already. It depends on how competitive the market it is. But deeper than that, I'll tell you one of the worst things you can focus on is return on ad spend. And what you should be focused on, in my opinion, is lifetime customer value. By the way, they're building a house next door to me, so if you guys hear some background noise, that is the deal. But you want to think about, because return on ad spend is basically implies that the only way you can be successful is with ads, but when you think long-term customer value, you can keep adding value to that customer, and so your return on ad spend will go higher and higher the more you focus on the long-term value of the customer and thinking about more products and how can I serve them and to continue to build out that relationship. So that's part of it, is getting e-commerce clients to see the bigger picture. Brett, do you find all hosting services to be easy to use? What functions do you feel are important to be accessible and intuitive when managing your website through your site host? I usually recommend SiteGround to clients if they want to buy and manage their own hosting, and I tell them it's user-friendly, but I'd like to give a more comprehensive input. Brett, to be honest, hosting is one of those things that's really, really commoditized. I would just say, like, whatever you do, don't go with GoDaddy. They're the worst. They have so many restrictions and everything's an upsell. But other than that, to be honest, the hosting itself, they're almost all cPanel hosting. Like, they're all pretty similar. What I look for, actually, believe it or not, the best thing you can have in hosting is like good customer support. When you have problems and challenges, if they're easy to reach, that to me is actually the most important thing of the hosting. You know, whether this one's gonna load 0.3 seconds faster than that one, it's when you have challenge. And I'll give you an example. HostGator used to be the shit back in the day. HostGator sucks now, but in the beginning, before they grew into this like huge giant company, HostGator was just fucking awesome. And I remember one time I had a friend hosting a little site on my unlimited hosting. I had 50 different websites, and he was number like 50, and he got in a little pissing match with somebody over a $5, $10 change, and the person deleted my whole hosting account. And I immediately contacted HostGator, and they say, we make a backup 3 times a week, so our last backup, actually a couple hours ago, give us a minute and we'll restore it. And I think there was like a $10 fee, but it was just so nice to have somebody there to be able to solve that problem. So that's the number one thing, is actually customer support, in my opinion anyway. Deruve, is there any faster way to contact a lead as soon as it lands, automatic calls or anything like that? I'm having HVAC repair leads and their attention span is really small. If we don't call them within 10 minutes, then those leads would hire another contractor. I'm stuck here. Any suggestions for what should we do? Deruve, I've used something called Slide Broadcast. You combine it with Zapier, you can call the person back and leave a voicemail right away. Having said that, the solution, by the way, in your case is probably not automation. It's to train your clients to answer the fucking phone. Like, you got to set the expectation that, like, people are not going to sit around waiting for a contractor to feel like they call them back. I'll give you an example of this. I had a friend of mine in the lawyer space who sent a lead to his dad. Now, he does most of his leads from Google and through SEO, and he got a lead that was off of, I don't know, like some kind of pay-per-click SEO option. And they got the call on Friday afternoon, and they called the person back Monday afternoon, so after the weekend, halfway through the day. And they're used to getting all their business from referrals, and they can wait 3 days. But Google Leads aren't going to sit around waiting 3 days for a lawyer to call them back. So they didn't close that deal. So in your case, it's the same kind of thing, is that you got to set the expectation. The magic number I set with my clients is you got 3 minutes. If you don't call people back within 3 minutes, they're already moved on to somebody else. If you actually want business and you want to do this, like, you got to do that. And I found the best way to do that is just to mystery shop them, like pretend to be a prospective client and call them, and then show them they're not doing their job with empirical evidence and data, and then show them how they're throwing away money and get them to like address the real problems in their business. Because if you're trying to cover it up with automation, the fact that they're slow, they're just going to keep wasting business, and you're not going to get the maximum effect. Having said that, you can use Sly Broadcast and Zapier to leave an automatic message. And I know a lot of people say go high level, but I'm not a go high level user myself, so I can't really comment on that. Mohammed, Facebook ad agency owners, recommendations required. Is there a tool which automates the whole ads creative agency from client onboarding to CRM, employee onboarding, intern process, and project management? Me and my partners want to automate the ads agency and scale up. Please share your experience and recommendation. Mohammed, you want somebody to like basically build the whole business for you. The beach is not alive, my friend. Or I actually have sand in my ears, though. That's how you know you've been spending too much time at the beach. Is I cleaned my ears and sand came out today. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like in your case, Mohammed, somebody to like just build the whole agency for you. It would be really, really nice. You can definitely outsource pieces, but if you're looking to outsource, like you said, client onboarding, that's one thing. CRM, that's another thing. Employees, that's another. Project management, that's another. Those are different things. Part of the reason why this is a hard business to grow is because all of those things have to be kind of figured out independently. There's no just one source you can white label that would take care of all of those things. Having said that, I'm sure you could find some good white labelers that would handle a lot of it. But you're looking for the easy way out, my friend. You gotta build some value into that system before you just like think about how I'm gonna automate it and just collect cash on the side. Nick, what's your favorite agency client acquisition channel and why? Nick, I read a bunch of really good questions in Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss, the 4-Hour Workweek guy. And one of the questions he asked is, when he's trying to reach somebody, he asks, what is the least crowded channel? So if you think about it, like, we do a lot of email outreach and things like that, but that's the most crowded channel. They're getting the most email because it's free to contact them on email, and people don't think, very deeply about the messages they send on email. So my favorite one is not paid ads like everybody else. It's actually direct mail. Customized letters in the mail because nobody else sends it, and it's the least crowded channel, and therefore we get the highest response rate with it. If a bunch of people suddenly did direct mail, I would switch to something else they're doing it. So I'm never married to one channel, but right now I'm in love with the direct mail because nobody sends letters in the mail anymore, and it has a big impact. Like most people really only get two kind of things in the mail, right? They get bills and they get threats to pay those bills. So when you actually get like real personalized, customized marketing in the inbox or the mailbox, it tends to really stand out. Michael, the biggest challenge I have right now is converting the high number of leads we generate for our fitness studio into showed-up trials for my fitness clients. I would absolutely love some expert advice and support on how to improve my nurture sequences, verbiage to increase booked appointments and show-up rates in our GHL Go High Level Snapshot. Thanks in advance. Michael, the question implies that what's going to make the difference is the way you do the follow-up and the magic word combination, and I'm not saying those things won't make a difference, but this to me sounds like just screams of an offer problem, because more than likely your fitness studio probably has an offer that sounds like everybody else, so they need some kind of new and exciting way to stand out. That's the one piece I would look for is, and how can you offer a package? And we talked a little bit about this in our mastermind, but for example, I have friends who own 30 different karate studios around New York State, and they have an upsell for a guaranteed black belt program. Now, any karate studio in the world could offer a guaranteed black belt 6 or 12-month program. I don't remember what it was, but they don't, right? So in your case, you got to come up with something that's unique, that differentiates them, that the market desires. You do that, and the copy will write itself. The words will write itself. The nurturing. So having said that, obviously there's little things you can do to improve your nurturing and things like that and storytelling. If you're interested, maybe I might do a training one of these days on something that I learned from a mentor of mine called the Triangle of Insight. But having said that, work on the offer, and your show-up rates and your booked appointments will improve for your client, because it's more than likely they can just get a personal trainer any 8 gazillion places, and so it's not that exciting of an offer. Chris, is it possible to be successful in SEO without a college degree? Chris, I would say that it's possible to be successful in just about anything without a college degree. In fact, I'm probably an extreme opinion. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm not saying this is true for everybody, but I think for entrepreneurs in general, college is kind of a scam unless you're going there for networking. If you're not made for the job path, I don't think like college is really helps you do anything. The real key to doing anything is real world experience. Can you actually help people solve problems? In the case of SEO, if you do that, you're qualified. In 2007, when I started, I didn't have a college degree in SEO, but I knew how to rank websites, so that was like the ultimate proof that it works. So yes, it's possible to be successful in anything without a college degree. Bradford. I'm thinking about starting my agency with home services, roofing, solar, HVAC. Any tips? Bradford, I'm going to tell you the biggest shortcut I can give you in this niche, because you're dealing with what I call the redneck niches, and like a lot, there's pros and cons to every niche. And one of the pros with your case is like the job sizes are big, they're relatively fast, there's kind of an unlimited amount of them. So those are the pros. The cons are the like a lot of your people are just really rednecky, and therefore they won't call people back. They'll say dumb things, and they'll get drunk on a Friday and just not pick up their phone Saturday morning. Like those are real thing in the redneck niches. So the client selection is by far the most important thing in these niches. And I worked with a bunch of roofers, and like for real, it was comical how bad some of them were. And I remember when Dan, who was partnering with me, who's in the group here now, finally found a really good roofer. He showed up in a McLaren F1, plopped down $10,000 cash to the meeting. A McLaren F1, by the way, is at the time was the fastest production sports car in the world, cost $1 million, and came here after he put 10 grand on the table, said, I came here to spend money, what's it going to take to get you? But I'll tell you the big secret in his case is that the guy owned a roofing company and was not a roofer. So if you want to like work in those niches, don't look for the person who's going to like answer the phone call and then go up on the roof. Look for somebody who at least has a small team. That's been a big shortcut for me, is if they don't do the work themselves. So if you go on their website and you don't see a little team and it's a one-person operation, those are, in my opinion, the hardest ones to help. Even if they're really good people, they're going to spend half their time on the job and therefore not answering the phone. So you're going to have a hard time like converting with them. So you want to work for like at least somebody who has a small team. You do that, you'll make your life way easier. Demontis, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. As an entrepreneur, what roadblock was the hardest for you to overcome? Demontis, for me, and I'm not saying this is true of everybody, but I find going from 0 to 1 a lot harder than going from 2 to 10. And the hardest part is the beginning phase. I remember, my first period of my entrepreneurial phase, I think I made exactly $0 for almost 2 straight years. So that's like, and I tried something every day. So that's like 700 days of effort. And I had an asshole father-in-law telling me, maybe you should just get a real job and just give up. Like your little side hustle isn't working out, and you have that voice telling you it's not going to work. So I think that's the hardest phase, is just getting it going. And obviously, business has bigger and bigger challenges when you get going. But it's hard in the beginning when you literally have nothing to show for what you're doing. So I don't know. That's kind of just my experience of it. Anthony, any recommendations on automated email marketing software? I've tried them all. I guess I haven't tried Go High Level, but I started with Aweber because it was the simplest, easiest to get started. And then I eventually, after years, through different clients, I tried eye contact and constant contact and get response and all these different variations. And then I switched over personally to ActiveCampaign, because ActiveCampaign has all these cool functions and features. And I also have used Infusionsoft and Entreport and the really fancy, more expensive ones. And I'll tell you, after all these years, I've come back to Aweber, and I'll tell you 2 reasons why. One, deliverability. I still think their deliverability is the best. By the way, they're building a house next to me, as I mentioned. So you guys hear construction sounds. It is real. We got some Mexicans over there building a house. And then the second reason, by the way, that I love Aweber is I actually did some tests on just getting email out. And it was the fastest to actually just write an email and put it into the system. And I realized I wasn't using all the fancy automations that came with ActiveCampaign and ClickFunnels and all those different tools. And I just like simple, get in there, get the email done, have it be delivered. I find that to be the best thing in email software. So Aweber would be my answer after all these years. Brendan, it's been a while since I've been in the SEO game. Just wondering where would be the best place to start learning again. I know there's a great place to get advice. I think actually that's a question from last week. So actually, these are all the questions. So if you guys are interested, by the way, in our mastermind, give a brother a holler. I'll tell you, you'll make the best use of it if you have some traction already and you're looking to take it to the next level so you can build what I call a lifestyle agency, which means more beach, less laptop, happier clients, more like McDonald's service, and more like scalability done with ease. I know you guys are impressed by my huge muscles over here. So if that's you, give a brother a holler. But that's all I got for you guys. It's a short week. Only 15 minutes of listening to me blab. So I hope that was useful. I'll post the replay for this on YouTube. And it's going to be more cool stuff coming on YouTube. You guys saw, those of you who follow, you saw a little goofy Braveheart stuff, but I got some more of those little goofy. We're gonna up the entertainment value in terms of what we're doing, in addition to the information and the tips just being badass if you want to grow a lifestyle agency. So much love for you guys. May the force be with you. And see you next time.